Right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is day 89. We are closing in on day 100. I don't know what I think of that, but it's fine. It's fine. You know, we're making progress, so that's all we can say. And I've got a certain goal that I want to achieve by a certain time, a certain time. So that is put the. It's like getting chased. It's like being a rat getting chased by a cat. You got to get away from, like, and it's closing by the time that you want to achieve the goal. If that makes sense. But yeah, I'm currently trying to hit that. It's not even too big a goal in all honesty, but it's still a big goal. Like the outcome of which is big. So, and with that would actually get me to where I want to get to in regards to this series, and the series would come to an end. Now, when we get to the end of I don't even know I'm talking about this. When we get to the end of this series, I don't know if I'm going to keep going to maybe go to 100k, but it would be nice to, like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm thinking about this now because we're not there yet. But we keep cooking. We keep cooking. But yeah, it's realizing what your weaknesses are and working on them. And in all honesty, I mean, I'm alright at sales. Don't get me wrong, but I could be so much better. Like, so much better. It pisses me off. Like when I finish a call and then I come off it and I'm like, yeah, I could have done so much better there. I think my main problem was I don't. I like to just be natural and just talk because that's just what I am. I'm good at talking to people. But with that comes me getting too engrossed in the conversation and not thinking about what I'm actually trying to portray to them and, like, explain to them. So I think I need to stay more on script and just basically get it all under my belt and, like, know word for word what to say in each specific scenario. And the more I do that, without being on a call, just repeat it to myself consistently, the further I'm gonna go, the better results I'm gonna get. So it's a learning process, but it's a process that I'm glad I'm doing now as opposed to later down the line in my life. I mean, if once I've completely got this down, I think that is a massive skill accomplished. Probably the best skill you can learn. And I know the principles, but it's one thing knowing the principles and another thing actually being able to put them into action. So the best way of doing that is just practicing, right? So yeah, I was struggling of things. I was struggling to think of things to actually talk about today in this video. Yeah, the one thing that came across my mind was this. But as I'm doing daily videos, it's hard to think of different topics. But the one thing that came across my mind is this: how important it is to just go day by day, one thing at a time. And if you didn't know and you didn't notice this tennis bag that's behind me, like every video, it's not there now, but usually is there. I play tennis quite a lot. And what I've learned from tennis is you focus on the point. You don't focus on how I'm going to win this set, how I'm going to win this game, how I'm going to win the next point. You focus on how I'm going to win this point because that's all that matters. That is all there is that you can control, is that point. So rather than getting torn up on previous points and how you fucked up there and how maybe you hit a forehand long or you should have hit a different shot to what you hit or whatever, focus on what you can control, which is this point coming now. So you can make a whole different change, okay? And in regards to business, it's the same idea. You just focus on one thing at a time. And yes, you have all of these goals, but you then have to split those goals down into a specific, like, time to do them, and you just do them one by one. And I know it's so easy to get distracted nowadays because there's so many stimulants that you've got ingrained in your subconscious mind that it's hard to stay focused on something because everyone's kind of overstimulated and work obviously isn't stimulating. So to go from one extreme of very stimulated to not stimulated at all, writing a document or whatever it is, it's very easy to get stressed, get bored, get anxious, get just simply not stimulated enough. And doing so, your brain tells you to go onto TikTok or whatever your coping mechanism is for that overstimulation, because you just don't know. You don't know any better. That's just what your brain is. Like, it doesn't know what's good and what's bad for you. It knows what is the most stimulating. So it's always going to go for that thing because social media apps are built to be as stimulating as possible, to keep you on them for as long as possible because they make their money with you using their platforms, right? So I've completely gone off track, but point is, you just need to focus on one thing at a time. If that's one thing I can tell you. Because, yeah, I mean, by one thing at a time, I mean one task at a time. If you're working on a document, you know you're going to have to finish that document at some point. So rather than half-arsing it and doing something at exactly the same time, or maybe thinking, okay, but I want to post on TikTok, but also want to do this document. Okay, I'm going to write this. Oh, no, but this isn't as stimulating. I want to go on TikTok. I want to post my TikTok. Just do one fucking thing at a time, because you've got to do both of them at some point. So rather than thinking, oh, I don't know which one's best to do. What should I do first? What should I do next? Kind of thing. You just go, I'm going to do this first. When I finish this, then I can do this. And then it comes down to a point of discipline. You've got to be disciplined, and you just got to do it. And that's how you get stuff done in a short period of time. But so many people just kind of get stuck in the hole of just doing random shit, whatever feels right and whatever they want to do at whatever time, that they never kind of get anywhere. And everyone goes to bed at night feeling unfulfilled because they know they could have done more. But because they're always going at something half-assed, trying to do two things at once, or doing a task, doing a doc and then checking Twitter, doing a doc, checking Twitter, doing a doc, checking Twitter, you don't actually get in that flow state of doing the doc. And it goes back to tennis again with the flow state. If you don't know what the flow state is, I'll explain. When you're playing a sport or playing something, doing something you enjoy that has zero resistance around it, like playing video games, like playing football, like playing tennis, like whatever it is that you're in the zone, you just get in the zone and time just kind of flies because you're not even kind of thinking, you just kind of do it because you love it and you enjoy it. And I get that from tennis, I get that from playing football, I get it from playing video games, I get it from whatever. I mean, most people are going to get it from things like that, things that they genuinely enjoy and are built to be enjoyed. So, but it's not just things that you enjoy which creates a flow state. It's things that you can actually get focused on and do, like, actually get nailed in on. You know, when you're doing homework, and I imagine you've had this in the past, whether you do it now or you've had it at some point in your life, I imagine you can kind of relate to this. When you're doing a homework piece, whether it be an essay, whether it be whatever, just like you're focusing on the homework, you've come to a stage where you're just doing the homework and there's like zero distractions and you're just kind of like in the zone doing homework, and it's almost like the laptop is the only the homework piece is the only thing you can think about, and you're just thinking about the next word, the next and the next word. That is the flow state, and you need to get into that state with whatever it is that you're doing, and you need to eliminate distractions, eliminate the possibilities of other things in like they could occur, because whether they occur or not, most likely they won't, because we always fear the worst. But I'm speaking from my own experience here, by the way, but the chances of them occurring are so slim. And when I say things coming up, I mean getting a message from someone, to which if you were to complete this task and then go back and then finish the task that takes an hour, 2 hours, whatever, you then finish that, then you reply, what's 2 hours going to do? Nothing, ever, really, unless it's like I don't know, because see what I'm getting at, like, it doesn't actually matter, and that's why you need to just like almost live in your own bubble, and then leave that when the time is right. I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, think about it like this: people used to live in a place where there was almost no distractions. You'd send a message, and you send a message to someone, and to send a message, you'd have to send it as post, to which it would take however long, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to get to them, however long. Then they've got to read it and then formulate a response and send it back to you. But now, so it takes 2 weeks from when you send a thing, I don't know, but you send a thing to get a response. But now everything's instant messaging, to which everyone kind of has that expectation that you've got to reply instantly. So there's a reason why we don't switch off. There's a reason why, and it's because there's that underlying assumption that everyone expects us to reply instantly, and it would be lesser of us and almost rude for us not to do that, to which all of us are always on our phones because there's the fear of missing out on our phones, and there's something on our phones that we're missing that we need to I tend to all the time, even though there never is, but there's the possibility that there will be. So you then want to go on your phone, right? I wrote a blog post on this, actually. I wrote a blog post on this. Move this real quick. On my Medium, which you can check out in the description. And I also released a blog today, so you can subscribe to my newsletter there. No, not blog, newsletter today. But let me find this. How to stop the fear of switching off from ruining your life. So this is the same idea. I mean, this is quite a big thing. I'll link it in the description. I mean, it's a 7-minute read, so I'm not going to sit here and read it to you for 7 minutes. But what I will do is explain to you what FOSO is, fear of switching off. So I wrote here, why do we suffer from fear of switching off? FOSO. Why do we suffer from FOSO? This quote-unquote always-on state, aggravated by work from home technology and the urge to be hyper-productive, has all contributed to the growth of FOSO. Many of us are afraid of slipping behind, missing out on important knowledge, or simply being stuck in a pure habit. Technology. Being continually linked through technology allows us to work around the clock from wherever in the world. This increases the fear that people will miss out on information, feel bad if they aren't being productive, or feel pressured by their bosses to respond to emails, even beyond work hours. There's only 2 more paragraphs I want to read to you here. Blurred work-life boundaries. Working from home and merged work cultures have become prevalent in many businesses since the epidemic. Working at the dinner table has blurred the work-life divide that existed before the pandemic. Additionally, because we are not seated at our desks, employees may feel the need to prove that they are working, which could lead to their reluctance to turn off. Social media and productivity. In contrast to FOMO, fear of missing out, or the fear of missing out on social events, social media might lead to FOSO in a different way, fear of switching off. Hustle culture and online success stories of those who have worked incredibly long hours to become quote-unquote successful could make people, in brackets, admittedly like me, feel compelled to labor towards similar successes. There is always a new method to be more productive, and social media may make working long hours and being hyper-productive appear somewhat desirable. So, I mean, you can probably tell that I wrote that because it's literally what I've just said. But let me just put this away. I don't know if you know I've got my headphones in, but fuck it. So yeah, it's the same kind of idea, and I know all of us have the same issue because we always feel like that we could have a message from someone on our phones that we need to respond to, and there could be a notification that we need to check or whatever. So with that, it becomes incredibly hard for us to focus on a task. And to be honest, I don't have a specific workaround for this. And I'd be lying if I said I did. The best way to do it is to write down what your distractions are and how important they actually are. Like the distractions, the notifications that will come up on your phone, and you realize that there aren't actually any distractions that are of major significance. And what is more of major significance is the fact that you can't focus on your goals and on your dreams, to which you're never actually going to achieve them because you can't actually focus and dial in on what it is that you know you need to do. So, as I say, there's no real workaround to this, but I know all of us feel this same issue, and I have this same issue now, so I can explain it pretty well because I am so kind of knowledgeable on it because I have to deal with it all the time. So yeah, I haven't found a complete workaround to it, but that doesn't mean that you can't, and that doesn't mean you can have an excuse to be like, no, Ollie doesn't have a workaround to it. No, that means no one's got a workaround to it, so it's fine. If you want to take control of your life, you need to take control of things like that because that is one of the most important things. I think I saw a quote from someone saying there are 3 most important things of successful people: their ability to say no. There was another one, and then it was their ability to stay focused on one thing at a time, and their ability to just block out distractions. And our main distraction is the possibility, not even our phones. It's the possibility that there is something on our phones, to which we go on our phones. most of the time, or because the work that you're doing isn't too stimulating, to make up for that unstimulating work, you go on your phone to be more stimulated because your baseline's up here and work is down here, and you want it to be up here because that's how your subconscious is built, dopamine wise. So, I mean, yeah. So I think I've explained that. I think you kind of get the idea. But you'll be proud to know that I've gone to the gym. It's the 9th today, or is it the 10th? I think it's the 10th actually. Shit. I've gone to the gym 6 out of 9 days. No, 6 out of 8 days this year. 6 out of 8 days this year. You're probably thinking, why? Well, actually, it's the first. It was shut on the 1st, and I went today actually. So yeah, it's what, 7 out of 9, or is it 6 out of 9? Whatever. I'm going to the gym a lot, like a lot. I'm going literally like 5 days a week. So if you know me, you know I never used to go to the gym, and then come November of last year when I started this series, or just afterwards when I got back from Porto, I started going to the gym, and I'm still going now. So there we go. So in what, 6 months time, you're going to see me, and I'm going to look like I don't know who's a big. I'm going to look like Sam Sulek. That's the one. There we go. Look like Sam. I'm joking. I don't want to look like that. So, but yeah. Anyway, I don't really. It doesn't really matter. I'm just telling you where I'm kind of at and what we're doing. So, yeah. I don't want to sit here and talk about my goals, but it would be nice one day to write a book, because the amount of knowledge I've just kind of intaken from so many people, and that's not to say I'm 20 years old, so the credibility and ego I have to think that I can provide value in a book right now, this instance, is completely fucking no way. But down the line, it's something that I love writing, so I think, yeah. You can buy the Ollie Maitland book in about 10 years' time, or whenever I have the credibility to write one. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. God, I need to go to bed, man. Fuck. There's one other thing I wanted to say. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, just take everything one thing at a time, and try not to do too many things at once. And I saw a quote the other day, not a quote. I saw a video the other day, which was talking about how the average person, when they want to get into quote unquote entrepreneurship, they don't want to put all of their eggs into one basket, and to make up for that, they start doing like 6 different business models at the same time. And not to the extent of 6, but I was kind of in that boat for a long time. But now I've kind of realized you need to put all of your time into one thing as much as you can. So my 2 main things now is obviously 3 actually, because I'm working one from basically not the ground up, but basically, and then marketing agency, working with like a load of different creators in different regards, and then obviously my personal brand. And my personal brand, you can see the outcome of my personal brand, like you can see what I do. And obviously at the moment it's not too much. I mean, it's a newsletter a week, it's a YouTube video every 2 weeks, and then there's daily videos of me talking to a camera, which obviously take zero effort to kind of create, apart from I have to think about something to talk about in every video, which is fine. But yeah, when you're getting into something, you've got to find something that interests you most of all, and make sure that it works and people have had success from it. And if they can get money from it, you can get money from it as well. And rather than thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to try all of these business models because that's going to work better, because then I'll be able to choose the best one. You're never going to get one far enough to be able to actually pick one. So instead of that, you're going to nail down on one thing and know it better than anyone else in your industry, which is like what I do with most things. Well, with what I do in the things that I sell. Or at least try to. Obviously, I'm not the best. I'd have an ego to say that I'm the best at what I do. But I learn to the best of my ability to be one of the best at selling it. And with that comes the ability to sell it, have more conviction when you're selling it. Of course, And then, yeah, so yeah, just don't come onto here watching these 10k a month videos and then go and watch the 10 best ways to make 10k a month, or 10 best ways to become a millionaire, and then start a TikTok creator fund account, a TikTok shop account, affiliate marketing, an SMMA, and a personal brand all at the same time, because you're never going to get anywhere with them, and there's only a certain amount of energy you can use throughout the day to actually do productive work. And if you're putting it all into so many different things, you're never going to get anywhere, right? So you may as well, you're going to get so much further if you put all of your things into one. And that's my advice. So that's something that I've learned. That's something that I've learned from comments too. But of course, I run 2 agencies, so it's not like I can do 2 things. Well, I can't do 2 things at once. But there's a reason why I do that. I understand the principles. There's a reason why I do that. But yeah, with that said, it's midnight, and I've been managed to talk for 20 minutes again. I don't know if this video has been as productive as yesterday's was, because I think yesterday's was probably my favorite video that I've recorded this whole series. But what I'll say in this video, fucking pick up a book and read it. Pick up books, read books. One of the most leverageable things you can do. If you want to be very smart for your age, I'd say, not that I'm saying I'm smart for my age, but what I am saying is the amount of value that is in books that you pick up from reading them is incredibly like leverageable and just so good for just your well-being and you as a person, and will grow you so much. So yeah, read books. Just read ones that you're kind of into, whether that be on sales, whether that be on marketing, whether it be on just investing, whether it be on just self-help. I might create a blog post giving my 10 best book recommendations. But I mean, yeah, I'm also thinking more and more that I want to create a community of just people from this series to put into a Discord server, and then everyone can kind of like interlink with one another, and you can like have accountability partners to do stuff, and we can like connect with one another and find like-minded people, all this kind of stuff. But let me know if that's something that might interest you, and if you've watched this far into the video. But with that said, yeah, appreciate all you boys. I'm sorry that this video hasn't been as productive as normal. I just simply didn't really know what to talk about, in all honesty. But yeah, just go ham on one skill, ham on one service, ham on one thing at a time, whatever it is, and just focus on that thing until you finished it, then move on to the next one. But yeah, focus on one thing at a time. That's the best advice I can give you. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow night again for day 90. Yeah, all right, cheers boys, appreciate you. See you for day 90. Peace. Cheers.